Hello, welcome to BioGreat TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. How the military entered into the Ivorian politics. Cote d'Ivoire, also known as Ivory Coast, is one of the countries in Sub-Saharan Africa. The country has experienced varying degrees of political unrest. However, there has been only one military coup in the country. On the 24th of December 1999, Ivory Coast witnessed its first coup d'etat since the country's independence in 1969. This military intervention was staged by a group of soldiers led by Tuofozie, and it led to the removal of President Henry Konan Bedie. The economic and political instability in the country at the time were the major factors that led to the coup. After the death of President Houphouët-Boigny, Henry Konan Bedie took over the Ivorian government in 1993. Bedie's administration was accused of corruption, and this made many of the citizens unhappy with his government. On the 23rd of December 1999, the rebel soldiers led by Tuofozie staged a rebellion. They asked President Bedie to step down from office, but he refused. The following day, the soldiers staged a coup d'etat and put an end to President Bedie's administration. They seized the capital city and key government buildings. There were gunshots all over the city as the rebel soldiers took over the government. The military junta then set up an interim government called the National Public Salvation Committee, that is, Comité National de Salut Public. Former army commander Robert Guay was appointed the head of this committee, even though he was already retired and wasn't one of the coup plotters. Immediately, Robert Guay took over the Ivorian government. He dissolved the parliament. He also suspended the constitution and the Supreme Court. The rebel soldiers did not waste any time as they took control of the Abidjan International Airport and key bridges in the capital city. They also set up checkpoints in different parts of the city. The military junta also went ahead to free all the prisoners from Bedie's administration. There was a general breakdown of law and order in the capital city, and many of the citizens looted different parts of the city. The rebel soldiers also took over the media stations in Abidjan. Commander Guay announced on the national television that President Bedie had been removed from office. In his message, he assured the people that there would be no more economic hardship in the country. He also promised to respect democracy and the diplomatic relationships that existed between Ivory Coast and other countries. Many Ivorians were happy with the military intervention because of the terrible economic and political circumstances that had existed in the country. However, France, the United States, and several African countries were not in support of the coup. Some of them imposed sanctions on Cote d'Ivoire and withdrew their support. A few months after the coup, there was still no improvement in the Ivorian economy. In fact, Guay's administration was accused of human rights violations and harassment of citizens. Guay banned international money transfers in an attempt to prevent members of the former government from moving stolen funds to their foreign accounts. Also, Guay did not settle the political unrest between the North and the South in the country. This eventually resulted in the Ivorian Civil War, which broke out in 2002 and lasted for 2 years. There was a gradual breakdown of law and order, and many of the cases of abuse were committed by the soldiers. Upon all of these, the Ivorian soldiers demanded pay rise and bonus. On the 4th of July 2000, some rebels occupied major cities in the country, including Abidjan, Bouaké, Katiola, Korogo, and Yamoussoukro for some days. Eventually, they reached an agreement with the authorities for each soldier to receive 1 million CFA francs. Sometime later, 4 officials of one of the leading political parties in Ivory Coast, The rally of the Republicans, that is Rassemblement des Républicains, popularly called RDR, were arrested during the investigation of a possible coup attempt in the country. These men got released without charges. Robert Guei removed all the representatives of the former ruling party RDR from the government. He also introduced a new constitution on the 23rd of July 2000. This constitution prevented individuals whose parents were non-Ivorians from taking part in the upcoming Ivorian general elections. A presidential election was held on the 22nd of October 2000. Even though Guei had banned all the major opposition candidates from taking part in the elections, he was still defeated by Laurent Gbagbo. Laurent Gbagbo was the presidential candidate of Ivorian Popular Front (FPI). Guei refused to accept the results of the elections. Amid all these, some of the presidential candidates who were prevented from contesting advocated for another presidential election. Many Ivorians did not support Guei's actions, and soon there were protests in the country. President Guei ran to Guisesso, near the Liberian border, while Laurent Gbagbo took over the government as the president on the 26th of October 2000. On the 13th of November 2000, Guei officially recognized Laurent Gbagbo as the country's president. What have we missed out of this history? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.